Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, Chud the Builder is facing attempted murder charges. I honestly didn't think that that's how the end of his career, how it was going to end off. But, because I was thinking along the lines that my money was on a white person taking them out. You know, because that you got those white people out there. They are some, like, ride and die African American fans. And yeah, you have some out there where it's like they don't care about the outcome of their life. They just don't want people like Chud the Builder to exist. Now, we don't know, I guess, what the end of his life is going to be like, but I feel like that with the rise of content creation, I feel like it gains millions of fans every day, and I feel like that, yeah, he definitely made a name for himself. He had his 15 minutes of fame, but now it's over, because he is going to go to prison behind his crime. He is going to go to prison behind this attempted murder charge. If not, it's going to be, they'll probably, I guess, if he takes a plea deal, then they might be all like, oh, aggravated assault or something like that. Well, no, I don't think it would be or assault with a deadly weapon. I feel like that what they're, I guess, like the court system, what they are going to try to do is they're going to make sure that he does spend some time in prison. So that's why I'm like, I don't think he's not going to get out of jail no time soon. Like maybe he might post bail and all that other stuff. Because that's the dumb thing about it, is that there are people sending him money. And I'm like, man, I don't understand. I do. The thing is this. I want to talk about his fans. I want to talk about Chud the Builder. And I also want to talk on people wrongfully using the N-word. Like there ain't no right reason on using the N-word. But that whole argument, oh, well, you guys use it all the time. Yeah, that's us. That's us. We're black people. We do that. Just like how there's white people out there. I'm pretty sure they call each other names. That's how it is in the black community. I can't speak on what goes on in the white community because I'm not a part of the white community. I am a part of the black community. So I know my people. I know how I act. I know how I talk. White people, on the other hand, and the crazy thing about it is that you guys have your own culture. Whatever that culture is, you have your own. Why is it that y'all try to get so involved in other people's culture? Why is it that you stand behind, like if I could just talk on that right now, the whole N-word usage thing. Why is it that you guys are so fascinated with the N-word? Like that's the only way that you can insult somebody. Like for as long as I've been a content creator, I've seen people use the N-word in some of the most dumbest ways possible. Like calling other white people the N-word. And like actually saying it like it's an insult and things. And I'm thinking to myself, that person is not black, so how are they going to be offended by you calling them the N-word? Like, no, I remember it was this, it was a video of these guys playing, one of the NASCAR video games. It's like an old video. It might be still available on YouTube. If not, probably got taken down some time ago. But anyways, so the guy was trolling people in the NASCAR game. Like I think that's what it was. Like when he would hit a turn, he'll dip out, come back up. Kind of like use like a pit maneuver type move on them where he just causes their car to spin all out and things. So the one guy started getting upset, and then yeah, just out of nowhere called the YouTuber the N-word. And then another thing too, like pausing this story real quick. Notice how I'm saying the N-word. I don't actually have to say it. So I guess like with me, it's like I don't need to say it. I can have a conversation and be respectful at the same time. Like I guess like I look at it like this, where it's like if a person is listening to this out loud, where it might be I don't know, like a teacher or something in his classroom, or it might be somebody at work. I'm being respectful. I'm having it where it's like, I'm respecting all ears, okay? But no, anyways, back to the story. So the guy, he started getting upset. The guy that was getting trolled, and then just out of nowhere called the YouTuber the N-word. And then he tried to defend it. He tried to make it seem, I can't remember what exactly he said, but it was the like dumbest thing that you could possibly, I guess, defense argument that you could have. I think he said something along the lines like, no, I didn't mean it like that. It's when there's two people and then there's a victim. He said something along those lines. I don't know if that's what because it's been years since I've seen that video, but I just remember the awkward silence afterwards where it's like, bro, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? And that's what those guys said, and he still was trying to like defend it, but it's like, no, you know what you meant when you said that. You know, there ain't no defense for your racism. And that's the thing. People try to defend racism so much where I'm like, that's the one part. It's like, to me, it's crazy. It's like, that's the one part of black history that they try to erase to make it seem like, oh, we're being dramatic. That happened over 200 years ago. Yet you guys are still trying to bring in those things that happened over 200 years ago. And you're trying to bring them in 200 years later, you know, where it's like you have it where there are some people out there talking about bring back slavery. People out there, yeah, just, you know, calling people left and right the N-word, harassing black people. I'm saying, like, times have changed, but at the same time, times hasn't really changed that much. You still got people out there that's just being racist for no reason, as if the black race did something to them. And that's, you know, I guess switching over to Chud the Builder, that would be my question to him. What has the black race done to you? I mean, there's the woman that was, you know, bending you over and was treating you in a way where it's just, yeah, that's... She was just bending him over, and she was there. She was doing some explicit things. Okay, let's just say that. Is that the reason why you don't like black people? Here's the thing: that was your choice. It wasn't like she forced you. It wasn't like that was your choice. You wanted that. So that's why I'm like, fam, you can't blame black people for your personal Diddy parties that you had going on and stuff. That was your personal life. But to go around and harass so many different black people and they ain't did nothing to you, you had to have known at some point in time a black person was going to challenge you. And you know you don't know how to fight. That's why you walk around with bear spray and guns all over the place. But and that's the thing that just trips me out. So I guess to explain it to those that don't know what had happened, obviously he was being racist to a black person, and that black person challenged him. And I don't know if he displayed the gun, because the video, it's kind of hard to make out. Like, I can't really see what's going on. You just see, it's just one big giant, like, not a giant crowd, but it looked like they're being separated, but I don't know who's who, you know? So that's why I'm like, if there's a more clearer video, then okay. But other than that, it's like the video, it was being recorded from like all the way across the street, and so I can't really make out. But from what I guess reports that came in was that yeah, he was being racist to the guy. The guy attacked him. Chud the Builder, I think it was said that he shot him in the shoulder and the stomach. And even after that, like, the guy was still beating him up and things. And I'm like, man, but I think they did say that the guy was a army veteran and stuff. So I'm not saying that his body is like equipped to take bullets and things. But at the same time, yeah, that guy is, you know, military trained. Just throwing that out there and stuff. But I wanted to talk about the guy real quick because people were spreading this, and I believe it's a fake story, but they were spreading this story about it was, I don't know if it was real or not, but I'm saying it is fake. If it is real, then it's real. But overall, though, that doesn't, I guess, excuse what Chud the Builder did, and I think that's what people are, the reason why they're bringing up this story of the guy. I guess if it is true, he was abusing his wife. Now, I'm not trying to defend that. If he did actually do that, that's his own problem, you know. But this is separate from Chud the Builder. This ain't got nothing to do. This Chud the Builder situation, it ain't like he or like, oh, that's that guy that beat his wife. I'm pretty sure he did not know who that guy was that started fighting with him. So that's why I'm like, people trying to defend Chud and being like, oh, well, this guy did this. Why is it that every time when some stuff goes down and then there's like that, like the one person that everybody is looking at as the suspect, aka Chud the Builder, but they're getting into it with somebody else, they try to do any and everything that they possibly can to find dirt on a person, whoever it is that they getting into it with, and trying to make them out as the suspect. So I'm like, I just get so confused by that. But no, this is the part where I think people have messed up on. So it was said that the guy is 31 years old, the one that Chud the Builder was fighting, the army veteran. But the article that they're sharing, where it's of him talking about how he was abusing his wife, it was a story that was posted 2 years ago, and that article said that he was 31 years old. Explain to me, how can you be 31 years old for 2 years? They said the article came out in 2024. How are you going to be 31 years old for 2 years? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, anyways, that whole situation had, you know, it pretty much went left for the guy. I genuinely do feel bad for the guy. Hold on for 1 second. All right, I'm back. I just had to sneeze real quick because I was like, I felt it like building up and it was starting to distract me and stuff. But anyways, but no, I genuinely do feel bad for the guy. I feel like that he didn't deserve to get shot. Not by nobody. Hold on for 1 second. I gotta sneeze again. All right, I'm back. So, but anyways, yeah, I don't think that Chud the Builder should have shot the guy. You know, it's like if you don't know how to fight, then my thing is this: don't go out and about being racist to people. Like that's, and then I know there's gonna be people out there trying to defend Chud. There's no defense for him, you know, because at the end of the day, if it comes down between listening to a court system or listening to you guys, I'm gonna listen to the court system. I'm gonna see what they have to say, because the funny thing is, let this have been the other way around. Oh, you guys would have been all like, oh no, he deserves the yeah, let's just say Chud the Builder is black and he's going around harassing white people. Y'all would have been all like, oh, he deserves to go to prison. He deserves to, you know, spend the rest of his life. Oh, he got it right and all these other different things. But because it's a white guy doing this, oh, he's innocent. He ain't did nothing wrong. And that's why I'm so confused by, like, are people trolling or are you guys genuinely that racist? Like, it took people like Trump and all these other different races to come up out of the woodworks for you guys to, I guess, embrace your racism. Because to me, it's like, I get so confused by it, where it's like, you know, you look back some years, people wasn't like openly racist like this on social media. Like, yeah, you had some people here and there and things, but the way that, like, mainly Twitter, it's the way that people are racist on there, it's like, wow. I'm confused by it, because there's so many people trying to defend the, you know, the N-word usage and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is what I always say to people there, you know, they're so quick to say the N-word. Go to Compton, California and say the N-word. Go to Broward County in Florida and say the N-word. Go to Brooklyn, you know, or I'm trying to think of some Harlem. Go to Harlem, you know, in New York and say the N-word. I'm trying to think of some Atlanta. Just go to an area where there is a lot of black people and you try having that same conversation with them. Yeah, it's easy to have that conversation on the internet, but my thing is this: if you're so for saying the N-word, and my thing is this: there's obstacles, there's things that you're gonna have to go through in order to use this N-word. But it's like, oh, if I just record myself going into areas where there are some black people, but I ain't going into a black area, because you never would have seen Chud the Builder do that. You never would have seen that man go to Compton, California, or any area where there is a lot of black people and say, he's like, oh, let me go to the nice areas where might see a black person here and there, and then it might be on some stuff like the bouncer, where they were like, oh, let me go up to a black worker and start calling them the N-word and telling them to stop chimping out and all these other different things. Yeah, he ain't gonna go to no black area and do that, because he knows what's gonna happen to him. There's a lot more guns against him than the one that he got in his holster. So, and the funny thing is, I just remember the time, because somebody was trying to argue with me some years back, because they called me a monkey on Twitter. And I was all like, you know, because I seen that they were from New York. And I was like, go to Harlem, go to Brooklyn, go out there with that same energy you're talking about. Because he was all like, oh, I got a black friend that I call a monkey all the time. I'm like, okay, so you're being racist to your black friend. Like, why is it that people try to convince you what's racist and what's not racist? Fam, I know what racism is. I have been studying racism literally since I was born. So when people try to explain to me what's racist and what's not racist, so I'm like, all the history books and the documentaries and the based on the true story movies and any and everything else that I've seen that has something to do with racism, all of that is just invalid, because that's got paying for a verification, you know, or premium verification check on Twitter, and you only got 42 followers and stuff. I'm supposed to believe you. Why? Why do I need to believe you over the history that I've already have learned throughout the 29 years that I've been alive? Why do I need to get rid of all of that history, including the experiences that I've been through when it comes down to racism? Why do I need to erase all of that and listen to what your definition is on racism? Please enlighten me, explain it to me. I would love to understand why your version of what's racist and what's not racist is over everything else that's been established for literally generations now. So that's why I'm like, you know, people always be so quick to have these conversations about racism and what's racist and what's not racist. Fam, y'all don't know absolutely nothing about racism. you go based off of what some racist person done said about racism, and it's like, oh, that's what racism is. You're a blind follower. Like, that's why. But no, it was funny, though, like, getting back to the guy on Twitter that I got into it with. So when I told him to do that, he was all like, why do you assume all black people are going to have a violent interaction with me? I'm like, okay, my thing is this. Prove me wrong. Go to a black area, have that same energy that you have online, and just see what happens. Who knows? They'll roll out the red carpet for you and give you a whole Wizard of Oz treatment where they're like, hey, you got to follow the yellow brick road. And they singing songs and all these other different things, shaking your hands, greeting you, being all nice and showing their teeth and stuff. Like, my thing is this. Prove me wrong. If black people don't carry on like that, then you don't have nothing to worry about. It's just a word, right? So just go out into the open, into a black area, and just start saying the N-word. See how that situation. I don't know how that situation's gonna turn out. Nobody knows how that situation's gonna turn out. But the thing is this though. If you see Chud the Builder situation, right? And you don't see nothing wrong with what he did, but you're seeing all the other different things that's surrounding him, where it's like, oh, he wrongfully got arrested. He's wrongfully being charged with attempted murder. He's wrongfully being painted out as the bad guy. If that's what your thought process is surrounding Chud the Builder, you're a part of the problem. And yeah, people that are racist, they're not going to understand that. That's the thing about racist people, is that they're stupid. Like, their education level isn't all that high. You know, they try to form up their own education, and then it backfires on them. It's like, yeah, you can't form an education with, like, you know, I guess, how could I put this in perspective and things? It just overall, though, I feel like it doesn't really require an example. You can't form an education about racism and just going based off of your own, like, oh, it's inspired by true events. No, you need to have an accurate, where it's a general information about racism. But that's the thing, like I said, racist people, they're stupid. They're going to form their own opinion, and then they're going to just roll with it. And that's why I'm like, yeah, racist people, you can't listen to a thing that they say. So that's my advice to any and everybody out there. You see somebody being racist online, just know this. They are dumb. They're clinically dumb. Like, something is really wrong with them. You know, like a mentally, you know, unstable, insane person that sees, you know, like, yeah, that suffers from schizophrenia. They're more smarter than a racist person. All right, you can find the dumbest person in the world. Let's just see who is the dumbest person in the world. But hold on, wait a minute, who is the dumbest person in the world? There's no verified dumb sense to human different skills. I don't know, but they don't have nothing showcased. I'm like, all right, so yeah, newborn baby, I guess, like, you know, one that doesn't really have no concept or any of that stuff about what's racist and what's not racist. They're more smarter than a racist person. But yeah, it's like racist people. There's probably a lot of different people that's at the bottom of that list of, like, well, no, I feel like y'all are, like, number one when it comes. No, you guys at the bottom, those are the people where it's like, you're dumb, but you're a little bit educated. You're just not racist. But no, like, when it comes down to the dumbest people in the world, like, no, you guys got the number one spot. Because I really don't know who else could possibly have that number one spot and things. But, of course, they're going to try to form up their own list. But it's like, no, you guys, y'all got that number one spot. It's okay. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Yeah, if you guys ask me, it's like, oh, do you think Chud the Builder deserves to be in prison? Yes, for the rest of his life. You know, I think that it's definitely, he needs to be in a prison where there's some people of the African American persuasion in there, and they can let him, and he can, and that's the thing too, if he somehow, some way smuggles a phone, all right, into prison, please, I want him to have the same live streams that he was having outside on the inside. And I want to see how that interaction would go down. And I'm like, say it to that one black prisoner that's serving life in prison and ain't got nothing to lose. That man is having, like, he got like multiple life sentences. He ain't got nothing to lose, all right? My thing is this. I just want to see how that interaction would turn out, all right? We don't know how it'll turn out. We don't know if that black man's gonna be aggressive or not. Who knows? He might laugh in Chud the Builder's face and just go on about his business. We don't know that, all right? But he got to have that same energy while he's in jail, prison, wherever he ends up going. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.